Juventus 2, Manchester City 5 in the Club World Cup. Man City thrashed those little slugs Juve in the final match of the group stages. Rodri started for the first time since September. Man City looking like they're going to maybe have a tilt for the title next season and prove me wrong, Vish. But they were impressive.
Yeah, they were. It's you don't really see it, do you? Like, it's quite disconcerting to watch the early building stages of a revenge mission.
Yeah.
Like, no one had to see the scaffolding on the Death Star, did they?
No.
They're just like, right, that's probably gone. We don't need to concentrate on
The Death
that.
Star got blown up, didn't it? The Death Star?
Well, it did, yeah. I suppose when they built it.
Yeah.
Spoilers from 1984.
So is this Club World Cup, is this like Andor?
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That was because that's a preview, isn't it?
Indeed.
Yes.
I don't think it is. I think this is the bit, and this game against Juventus is specifically the bit where the Emperor's sitting in his chair in Return of the Jedi, and you think he's building it, and he goes, "This fully operational battle station,"
and
just unloads on
And that's
them.
Guardiola's going to say that at the start of the season.
Yeah.
You think we're all struggling? No.
It was quite a contrast, wasn't it? Because on the one hand, maybe I'm putting too big a point on it, but it really did feel like Man City were clicking into something, trying to find something at least. And at the same time, I think Juventus had been there too long. Could not be asked, could they? Not be asked.
Do you know how they've just hired a guy who used to work at Liverpool?
Yeah,
exactly.
Assistant coach, wasn't he?
Yeah, assistant,
Sorry, it was the assistant Klopp.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, is he got the plans to take down Liverpool?
Yeah, he might have.
Well, he certainly had the plans to take down RB Salzburg when he was in charge there.
I was about to say, he did the old classic, I've spent ages as an assistant under a genuinely impressive manager, won loads of trophies. This should get me a job. Does get him a job. Absolutely shit. Back over here again with the tail between your legs. I think I'll do the assistant bit again, please, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Dear, the old Carlos Queiroz.
Yeah, the old Chris Hargreaves, for those of you who remember Paul Jewell's reign at Wigan.
And we really do.
That was a deep cut.
Very deep.
So deep for the heads that I probably got it wrong.
Brian Kidd.
Brian Kidd.
Famously.
There you go. Steve Keane.
Steve Keane.
Yeah.
If you've got any others, email.
There are others, but we must move on.
Yeah.
So Rodri was there.
It was an incredible approach to defending from Juventus, I thought.
Yeah.
Quite avant-garde in places.
It was a little bit.
At one point, Manchester City, and they can do this to teams anyway when they're on song. At one point, it felt like they were just stumbling into the penalty area, taking their time to square it for an open goal to someone.
Yes.
It felt a bit like
Phil Foden's not scored, let him have a goal.
Yeah, Erling Haaland's bundled one in off both feet.
It's his 300th goal of his
Oh no,
career.
that was an amazing statistic. And then Kalulu did an extraordinary own goal as well.
My goodness.
Where he strange.
He tries to hook it away, comes off his heel, and just turns into a beautiful finish.
It was bad.
Can we really work out what he's trying to do?
Not under any pressure either. There's not even a Man City player in the camera shot.
He was under no pressure, and yet he was trying to put it out for a corner. Which is mad to me.
Well, I mean, I suppose he thought safety first, maybe, I don't know. But either or, it was a piss poor own goal.
If I kick the ball this way, then we get it right up the other half, the other end, don't we?
Well, but it was in
the middle of the pitch.
It was soon after Manchester City themselves, through Edison, had gifted Juventus an equaliser. And then they thought, I feel a bit bad about that. All right, you can go back in front.
It's like when Aston Villa walked one in against Bielsa's Leeds.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a little bit like that.
But Janssen really objected to that. There was more.
That was really funny.
There was more of an obstruction to that goal than there was to this one.
Yes.
You can't rely on everyone to come with you.
Yeah,
someone's going to have to fight against it.
Yeah.
Was it the most extraordinary event you've seen at the Camping World Stadium in Orlando?
For a while, I would say.
Because don't forget they were home to the Orlando Guardians of the XFL back in 2023. So there's probably some exciting moments then as well.
Oh, it was littered with exciting moments.
Just ghosts of nonsense littered throughout that part of America, isn't there?
Well, are you being disrespectful to the United Football League's Florida Tuskers of 2009-2010?
I think he is.
I think I have as well, yeah.
Or the 1985's Orlando Renegades.
Something, though, you would have to respect, other than Arsenal Fan TV, is Savinho's beauty.
Oh, it's great.
In off the bar.
Slapped it in.
That's what we want.
Slapped it off the bar.
Want to see, yeah.
But he had a great game from start to finish. He was terrific. It feels like he's about to have a really big season. But I guess the weird thing about how good City were in this, and look, Juventus had their faults and Yildiz didn't start, etc., but City against opposition of substance were really, really good. But when you talk about projecting forward to next season, you can't really do that because the longer they're here, the more likely they are to start next season really badly. That's the way things are, isn't it?
So that's it, Andy. That's it. They're going to bugger it up next season.
One thing we have learned is that if you're going up against Rodri in midfield, you cannot prepare for a game by having a pizza with ranch sauce on it. If you're Weston McKennie,
well,
that is not prep for a midfield battle with Rodri.
Luke, you've done my link for me there, because we have to talk about the comments that Timothy Weah and Weston McKennie have been making and infuriating Italians with regards to their local cuisine. And we know Italians are very, very...
That is the key bit, isn't it?
They're very protective over their food. Fair enough.
Infuriating is putting it very mildly, I think.
Well, Italians are very protective and very particular about their food. That's fair. You know, it's fair to say that country has produced a fair amount of quality cuisine.
It's also fair to say that the legend and lore around Italian food is overblown. It's amazing. It's overblown.
Agreed. Totally agreed. I was about to back that up by saying that fairly recently,
it's just carbs and cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
Different carbs with different cheese.
I had a bit of bolognese with tagliatelle rather than spaghetti and got scorned by an Italian for that. And I was a bit like, this is just a little bit fatter.
It's like
it's all it is.
Paulie Walnuts in Sopranos getting annoyed in that coffee shop when they stray from the proper way of making Italian coffee by screaming, "We taught the world how to eat." That's how they feel.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's
not all Italians.
That's
you would
the best bit about it, I think. The fact that the sense of anticipation about how angry they're going to be about any sort of challenge to how food should be. I mean, one of my younger son had an Italian friend at school, and when they had like a Power League football party, he was putting chips on his slice of pizza.
Good idea.
One of the lads next to him went, "When you go home, they're going to send you to prison."
I don't think the Italians... I don't think there has been an overreaction to this, though, because all Weston McKennie said was Italian cuisine has no variety. It's pasta, pizza, fish and steak, to which the former Italian goalkeeper Mariano Viviano said, they have achieved the incredible feat of uniting all of Italy against them. It's basically being seen as a declaration of war. And no less than that.
In fairness, Juventus have been uniting all of Italy against them for quite a number of years.
Viviano also said the US is a country with the worst food in the world. They would even deep fry the soles of their shoes. There are 200 million Yanks and all you eat are hamburgers. I mean, I did find it funny when McKennie said there's no variety and then he listed four different things.
Four quite distinct food.
Because Andy have said the spaghetti...
Like across, I'm defending Italy now, but across Italy, all those things are done in different ways.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like you say, it is a bit overblown. It was all a bit silly, but I was just like, oh, lads. Look, I understand if you prefer American food, that's absolutely fine.
Even at the start of this video, Weah said, "You're throwing me under the bus here, aren't you?"
Yeah, but Andy,
and he said, "No, I'm not," and then proceeded to throw him under the bus.
But I don't care if they prefer American food. I honestly couldn't give two shiny shites about all the wankery when it comes to sort of, you got... But some of their points are just demonstrably not true. What did you think when Weah added fuel to the fire by saying, "I prefer Italian and American food to the real thing"?
But this is why I find this story very enjoyable, because there are a lot of people on the east coast of America who are more American than Italian, who will want to be more Italian than American, and will fight against McKennie and Timothy Weah.
Yes,
I think this is the thing actually to say, as Luke hinted at the start. The brilliant thing is McKennie's got form for this, because on what I can only describe as the mind-numbingly boring Juventus documentary there was,
the one with Chiellini.
McKennie's sat at a table. This is when he's in his first spell at Juventus with Chiellini and Buffon, and they've got this like can't believe what's happening look on their face as he goes, "You know what would really improve your pizza over here? Ranch sauce." And they look disgusting. And funnily enough, they keep ranch sauce in the fridge for him at Juventus now. It's become a running joke that sort of got legs. But they go afterwards. I think it's Chiellini goes afterwards. "Have you ever had espresso?" And he goes, "I can't. I'll shit myself." Very open.
Do you think though that obviously it sounded like against their wills, but you just spend a little bit of time with Trump in the Oval Office, you just have these opinions. It just rubs up. I've got to shoot from the hip now.
You know what I love? Mackey's.
I'm going to disrespect the whole nation. I'm going to piss the people off.
It's true to the Ramble tradition that we've done more on this than we did the game itself. That's great. I agree with Marcus's overall point, which is just the fetish fetishisation of food culture generally. She's got to stop.
Yeah.
Eat what you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Get cornflakes on a pizza and then we'll talk.
Yeah, there you go. That's a nice idea. Fresh idea.
Great idea.
You're not interesting because you've watched all 4 seasons of The Bear and once went to fucking Noble Rot. No one cares.
I do quite like The Bear.
No one fucking
I do
cares.
like The Bear.
Yeah, great. It's just a TV show, isn't it?
You just wouldn't get it, mate, because it's above your...
Yeah. I don't like the amount of seasoning in it. There's too much seasoning.
Too many seasons.
I do what Luke wouldn't get behind.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer for the new season of The Bear the other day where it's the main guy. What's his name?
Alan Brazil. Young Alan Brazil.
I know the actor's name, but he looks like Alan Brazil. And he says one thing.
I made 2 different versions.
One thing's for sure in the restaurant business, you're never on your own. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
So fucking shit. Fuck off.
You're cooking for me now. Right, can we get some neeps and tatties over here? Okay, right. Anyway, sorry for the bollocks,
Get some
everybody.
fucking red sauce on it.
Today's special is Philippine's again.
Juventus will face Real Madrid in the next round.
It's a tasty one.
Of the,
I was hoping
the
Real
Club World
Madrid.
Cup. Come on, this is what we want.
I was hoping Real Madrid would slip up. I was hoping they'd have a really poor
come on.
night against Salzburg. I knew it was going to be ambitious. I asked for it. I prayed to the football gods for it. They did not deliver. Andy was on my team. You'd quite like a Salzburg win there, wouldn't you? But
I think it would have been quite amusing. I'll tell you what, though, Trent Alexander-Arnold was pretty good. He played a sort of right wing back. So Alonso played 3 at the back for the first time. And you had plenty of Trent like stepping into midfield and playing his passes. It's kind of like how like clubs have sold playing right back to Ainsley Maitland-Niles. It's like, oh, when we're attacking, you can step into midfield.
Didn't Trent do that for Liverpool a lot though?
He tried to do. The thing was, he tried to do it with Southgate for England a couple of times, and it didn't work. But you're saying this guy who knows what he's doing with tactics might be able to...
Right, hang on a minute.
Controversial.
Don't have a go at Sir Gareth Southgate.
Sir Gareth Southgate, Vish, please, if you don't mind.
He's a sir now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Was he a sir before? Was that a recent?
Obviously not.
Was he a sir before?
Sir Gareth Southgate.
No, he turned up with Prince William doing the sword. He went, I've already done you. So that's a fucking admin error. See you later.
Where do I put this one? Just put it on the other side.
Imagine that. Sir Gareth Southgate.
Or would you bookend it? Sir Gareth Southgate, sir.
Like he's a teacher.
Indeed.
Or on a radio.
Well, Manchester City will face Al Hilal in the next round. Of course, they beat Pachuca 2-0. Mitrovic didn't play.
You've got a big fear about this. You're not going to see him at the world's premier club competition.
I don't think we are.
Can it genuinely be considered the world's premier club competition if Mitro's not involved?
You might row back on that. There was talk of an injury. There's also talk about a couple of Premier League clubs interested in him. Apparently Everton and David Moyes are interested, and I wonder if Mitrovic is doing that thing. It's like, right, I've earned my money. Has the money come into my account? I've been here a couple of years now. Yeah. Right, it's in. I'm not playing anymore. I'm going.
You get to the 2-year alarm, don't you, where they can't take the tax back off you, and then cheerio.
So yes, I'm sure he's got an injury, but I did wonder, and I thought, is he doing that thing?
Did he set the alarm? He set the alarm and it comes up in his iPhone. It's like, oh, brilliant.
It's during a team meeting. See ya.
The alarm is just Jim Bowen popping up going, that's safe. That's safe. And also, miraculously, Mitrovic is only 30 as well.
Yeah.
So he's probably got quite a lot to offer still.
I think the alarm also could be right, elsewhere in the Club World Cup, Inter beat River 2-0. Inter wrapped up the group stage campaign with a win over River on Wednesday night. The game ended with a brawl on the pitch. Not that surprising, really.
Well, it wasn't the brawl it could have been because for 2 main reasons.
Throw a punch.
Yeah,
stop this pushing.
The 2 reasons are that the background is that Denzel Dumfries and Marcus Acuna have beef.
They do.
It goes back to the 2022 World Cup where Argentina beat Netherlands on penalties. There was a bit of a back and forth between them.
They hate each other.
They do hate each other, and they were going at each other all through the game. The reason there wasn't a proper fight on them, and I am regretful about this because I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
It had been brewing up all game. Is one, because Denzel Dumfries ran off the pitch faster than he'd ever run the entire game, and secondly because Marcus Acuna had quite literally 50 men holding him back. It was remarkable the amount of people that were stopping him.
Let's have a word for Dumfries. The thing that hasn't been added to that part of the story, the reason he ran off the pitch so quickly, so he could wait outside the dressing room for Acuna.
Do it properly. Yeah. I respect that.
You get more room in the tunnel.
True.
Bit of privacy.
Fewer cameras, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go stripped to the waist, to the death, or I'm not doing it at all.
Skin on skin.
Yeah.
No, you're talking, Obviously, in River, a couple of red cards as well, as is the thing. I mean, the Argentinian teams, I would say, have gone down swinging, but I mean, Boca did draw with Auckland City, of course. But River are out. So the fixture that we all really wanted to see won't be happening.
No, it will be because it's actually a 28th place playoff.
Well, do you know what? But I was going to say, it wouldn't surprise me if Infantino thought, oh, blimey, yeah, with attendance have been poor. Right, let's have that 28th place.
It is a shame. It is a shame that Boca and River have both gone out. I'm particularly pleased for the Brazilian teams, but I really, really wanted to see a couple of Argentinian teams go deep. Boca didn't even win a game, which is remarkable given they've got,
But they played Auckland City.
Yeah, I know.
They've had quite a poor domestic season.
They have.
So it's not a massive surprise.
But Inter will play Fluminense in the round of 16. They drew 0-0 with Mamelodi Sundowns, which was enough to get them through. The Sundowns have got some admirers, I think.
They've made some friends.
They've made some friends.
They've done the thing that all the proper fans of Irish football hate, where they go to a tournament, do shit, but everyone tells their fans are amazing.
Yes.
No, I think
And Roy Keane's fucking slowly just fumes.
I think some Irish people, the Scottish love that.
Yeah.
They absolutely love that.
Yeah.
That's the real win.
But remember Roy Keane?
That's why
But Roy Keane doesn't speak on behalf of anybody.
Speaks on behalf of Cork. He's a good Cork man.
If you're from Cork, get in touch.
He does.
Yeah.
He speaks on behalf of all of Cork.
He doesn't speak on behalf of Dennis Irwin.
No, he loves to though. He loves Dennis Irwin.
They're mates. They probably think similarly.
He looks up to Dennis Irwin a lot.
He's-
As we all do. I've seen his bottom.
He said, "You've seen Dennis Irwin's? Oh, because you went and played at
I
Old
had a
Trafford
shower
with him.
with him once, yeah.
Yeah. How was it? What was your impression of it?
Good
arse?
Yeah, great arse.
Yeah.
Great arse.
Did he compliment you on the goal you scored at Old Trafford, whipped in by Quinton Fortune, as if anyone could ever forget it? Because you mention it every fucking 5 minutes.
Do I?
You didn't wait to see the front?
No.
I know. Respectfully,
Did you see his cock and balls?
No, respectfully, I thought to myself,
That's enough.
I thought I could have a little peek here, and I
Yeah.
thought, no.
Little Peking duck.
Is it hanging in the front window?
I think Vish wants to ask this question, but perhaps he's not quite brave enough, so I'll do it for you, Vish. How many cocks and balls did you see in the change rooms on that day?
I can't remember.
Manchester United related, not. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, none. Just out of respect.
Don't care about the normals.
Yeah.
Just out of respect. We were very much talking eye to eye.
Same height, probably.
He probably touched taller.
Yeah.
And it was a lovely old time.
Were you impressed by his performance on the pitch?
Very.
At that age, even?
I don't want to talk about this, but you're dragging it out.
Well, it's not about what you want.
Okay.
It's about what the listeners want.
The man-
and I'm feeling that they want to hear about Dennis Irwin's arsehole.
It's not your running order.
Celeste Ferdinand levels of being able to hang in the air.
Was it?
Yes, very
Okay. Was
impressive.
Celeste there?
Celeste wasn't there. I don't know why he would be.
Shame.
Andrew Cole was, and as you mentioned, Quinton Fortune, a fellow South African to the Mamelodi Sundowns.
Nice
of
link
course.
back. There you
we
go.
are.
If you earn it back, I don't mind. If you skillfully steer it back,
Yeah.
we'll go along with you.
You really dropped a shoulder there, but the other
Yeah,
one.
exactly. Yeah.
Lovely
Much like
stuff.
Quinton himself before he set me up for that goal.
Speaking of goals,
Do you know what, though? I did think to myself, if Sundowns go deep in this competition, will we have a sort of would Hawkwind redo their song "Carry On Sundown"?
They could do.
"Carry On Sundowns."
A purely academic exercise, given it for anyone who's seen Mamelodi Sundowns actually play.
Yeah, a reference everybody got there. By the way.
Hawkwind, not even their main song.
who the fuck's Hawkwind?
Exactly.
Oh dear. Of course, Cooler Shaker did a cover of that in the 90s.
That's how he knows about it. Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah. Can we hurry up this show because Marcus has got to get on a train and go and see Cooler Shaker at Glastonbury.
I've got to go. I've got to get
Your favourite festival, isn't it?
I've got to go into a
'Cause it's
DeLorean
different.
and go back to the 90s. Now, Sundowns coach Miguel Cardoso said, despite the result, the team head home stronger and with more respect around the world. You can't disagree with that, Andy Brassel.
No, I like Miguel Cardoso a lot. I've got a lot of time for him.
Why is that?
Help me with my book on Shakhtar.
There we go. To be fair, he's answered you there, Mark.
I know he has, and I thought there was something in it.
He used to coordinate the youth academy there. He's had an unbelievable career. So after the original Russian invasion of the Donbass, he was tasked with keeping the youth academy going on his own. Like for weeks and weeks and weeks. And now he's been a coach in France, in Spain. Didn't go particularly well for him in those jobs, and here he is at the Club World Cup. It's an unbelievable story.
And he's got to the top of the game.
It's great stuff.
Can't deny it.
That's really great. That's
It's
cool.
interesting.
Yeah, good man.
That
good man.
insight wasn't befifitting of the conversation before.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Andy
Okay,
was
I
just-
apologise.
I think, yeah.
Andy was-
Have you seen his arse or not, Andy?
What's the most famous arse you've seen?
That's a good question. I was actually thinking about that earlier. That's
knew
how I
you
know
were.
we're in
I knew
sync.
you were.
That's how I know we're in sync. I'll have to have a think about it.
Owen would be up there.
So
if you
what
pardon the
we've
expression.
done there, we've sandwiched your quite genuine, quite heartfelt insight with bollocks.
Yeah, I want
With bottoms.
I want people to email in. The most famous arse they've seen.
Vish?
Vish, you must have seen some cricket arse. You must have. You must have seen that.
He's often referred to as
The cricket arse.
We don't get that kind of access.
Oh dear. I'm trying to think who was in the New York City FC team when I was hanging around in their changing room.
Yeah.
Which is odd, that whole thing in America.
Lampard?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, anyway, I think we should move on.
I mean, people generally keep their underpants on in front of journalists, even
yeah.
even
Not
in
in
the
front of
US.
Speller.
Yeah.
Not in the NFL.
Come
They
on.
had to stop it, didn't they? They had to stop the locker room access.
Come on.
Too many appendages swinging
I
around.
know, it's an outrageous practice over there.
It's
in
not
America.
family friendly.
I honestly nearly, as I said before, I wanted to turn around and everybody go, look, come on, we don't need to be here right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, a man who does need to be here is Sergio Ramos, and Monterrey have qualified for the round of 16, beating Urawa Red Diamonds 4-0. Ramos, of course, captains Monterrey. They've conceded just one goal all competition. They face Dortmund in the next round. You wouldn't put it past them.
I think that's an interesting game.
I want them to
Yeah,
play.
that's really nice.
Yeah, I think it's a lovely one. If
I
they,
think Joe Bellingham getting an absolute rude awakening coming up against Sergio Ramos for a bit.
oh my goodness.
It'd be amazing. The goals, I mean, I know that Savinho has stolen a lot of the thunder with that absolute beauty off the bar yesterday, but I want to do a special mention for, I mean, not just Nelson Diosa's opener for Monterrey against Urawa, which is a fucking beauty. I mean, if you watch the replay from behind, the keeper kind of gets a bit
Been a
confused
lot of
by
good
the
goals
movement.
in this tournament.
But Jesus Corona scored a fucking howitzer as well.
Yeah.
It was if you want good quality goals and you've been overwhelmed by the sheer amount of football by confusing teams you don't recognise, do go onto YouTube and seek out the Monterey 4 Urawa Red Diamonds 0 game, because the goals in that were amazing.
And
You know, especially with River and Boca going out, I think Monterey carrying on is really, really important,
It is.
because their fans have really brought the atmosphere
Yeah,
at this
absolutely.
Club World Cup. They've been brilliant.
Absolutely. And Andy, of course, if they can get past Dortmund, which is possible,
Yeah.
they'd face the winner of Real Madrid and Juventus. Come on.
Lovely
Something we can all.
I
get
really
behind.
would love, and I'm using the word unfashionable for want of a better word. I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but I'd really love an unfashionable team to go deep in this. It'd be great.
I mean, looking around the tournament, you think so. A Brazilian side will be in the quarterfinal because Palmeiras and Botafogo play each other, of course.
Correct.
And they could face one of them. will face
Benfica or Chelsea, right? Yeah.
I mean, Fluminense have Inter's a tough order. Al Hilal, if Mitro's not back, then you'd fancy Man City to put them out. Inter Miami, shame for them they get PSG. Quite
Messi
frankly.
chance for Messi to have a little bit of a say in it, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think now.
By which I mean, Marcus, sorry, him to score a free kick when they're 5-0 down about 10 minutes from the end.
Indeed.
What I'm looking forward to is Vitinha being man of the match in that PSG Inter Miami game, and then giving his post-match interview and going, just to remind you, Messi said I was shit and they shouldn't have signed me.
Great, that would be lovely if he said that.
That would be very, very,
be
very
petty
good. Yeah.
against the greatest players ever played a game, but I'd admire it.
Indeed. Well, of course, the group stage is now over. We've enjoyed it, and Andy lived it. But if you want to hear more about Andy's trip to LA, then get over to On the Continent, because that, Andy, is where you really spread your wings.
Yeah, 3-part mini-series on all aspects of the Club World Cup and what the actual World Cup might look like next summer, because, of course, we're only a year away from it now. And I guess the US kind of having a run-up about how it's going to logistically host it.
I heard you set fire to a self-driving cab.
Well, find out. Go to On the Continent and check out Andy's little mini-series to Los Angeles and see if indeed Andy did do something as abhorrent as that. But before we go for a break, sad news though. Auckland City players have decided that they don't think their coach is up to the job of managing the team anymore.
This is sensational.
Due to specific issues, because I should say that Paul Poser, or Paul Poser as some people may call him, he wasn't there for the first game of the tournament, the 10-0 shellacking, because he had, I think, a minor surgical op back in New Zealand before he went there. So that was their fault. All right, those suckers lost 10-0. He turned up for the Benfica game, and they lost 6-0. And they kept him at arm's length for about an hour, and then he gets a point against Boca. And now this. Now this, they're going, you just because you didn't know who Nicholas Otamendi was.
Yeah.
And that was one of the specific issues.
Yeah, he didn't know who Otamendi was. Yeah.
In their defence of criticising him for that, I mean, Otamendi's got 126 Argentina caps and has won the World Cup. While playing for some of the biggest teams in the world. It's not like an obscure player.
At the same time, if I was a coach of that Auckland City team after they'd lost 10-0, prepping for this game, I'd be like, I'll be honest, lads, I don't think any of our strikers need to worry about who their defenders are.
Yep.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Let's just focus on our own box and our own goal.
Take it bit by bit.
He masterminded a draw. He knocked Boca out of the tournament effectively.
Oh, I didn't know who Otamendi was, because at the moment we're only managing in the danger zone.
Exactly.
And the danger zone's the other end of the pitch.
So, yeah, anyway, so much discussion needs to be had.
Tell you what, why don't you introduce me to him when you're up at his end, yeah?
Exactly. I haven't got time to look up there.
Coming up after this, England's under-21s dominate the Dutch, and a new bum could be seen in Arsenal's dressing room.
It's John McGinn, it's Dykes, it's McKennie! Oh, what a turnaround in Oslo!
Welcome back to the Football Ramble, everybody.
Spells, you're a genius with the buttons. We spend so much of the first bit talking about bums, and John McGinn's on the insert.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, Marcus, I prefer the one about the jobby.
I know you do, but that's what we have to do.
Classics from the pantheon of Scottish commentary.
Well, we do have something for you in just a moment, but it's nothing to do with jobbies though. Spoiler: England under-21s beat the Netherlands under-21s 2-1 in the Euro under-21 semi-final. I think I've said an under-21 enough. I think after the first mention of under-21, I should just be able to get on with it.
We should
be able to say England are through to another final.
Yeah,
Yes.
just say
There we go.
in another big major semi-final. England 2, Netherlands 1.
Once again,
under-21s, and then just move on.
Yeah.
There's no feeling like England beating Netherlands in a semi-final, it turns out.
We do it so often, it's boring.
Yeah.
with lovely late goals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, of course. They're in the final again, thanks to 2 goals from Harvey Elliott. Tell you what, that second one in particular. I mean, he is.
It's brilliant.
He's looking like a world beater.
At this level, he's too good.
Yeah.
He's way too good.
Please just
He's looked
go
like this
and
for a
play
while.
somewhere next season
Yeah.
where you can
Yeah.
play every week.
Well, so if you didn't see this, I mean, the first goal was a lovely one. He just battered it with the right foot because he'd missed a couple of efforts
Roofed
in the
it.
first half.
Roofed it, didn't he?
Which I'd be willing to know what the XG was on them, but by his standards, he would probably felt maybe he should have scored without being too harsh. The second goal was just delightful,
Just ghosted through.
just beautiful.
On balance is incredible.
And England deserved that as well because the Dutch equaliser was a beauty from Ohio, but it was kind of against the run.
It was a defensive error. It was a great finish.
Yes,
England
But
were
they
by
got
far-
themselves in a bit of pickle.
but
there,
England have
didn't they?
grown into this tournament, of course.
If you didn't watch the game and you saw that, you go, okay, so they've scored a late goal to sneak through there. They were much better.
They were
much better than.
and when that second goal went in, Joe Hart very much wore his heart on his sleeve.
Elliott, still Elliott. Is he going to go all the way here? Yes!
I watched that in real time and I was absolutely cracking up on my sofa hearing Hart do that. I actually really like Joe Hart as a co-commentator. I
He's
think
good.
it's quite interesting, good insight.
Yeah.
He seems to genuinely happy to be there, which of course so many commentators and co-commentators don't realise. Pundits as well, actually.
Yes.
You've got to be able to show that you're really enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
And Hart does seem really enthusiastic. And I know that there's much more to the game than this, but it's actually very noticeable how much insight he can give on goalkeeping position,
Yeah.
saves, all that kind of stuff. You don't really hear that much.
And
very
that's
often.
something that's quite lacking in analysis.
Well, Paul
isn't
Robertson
it?
never does it, even though he's a goalkeeper. I think he's on 5 Live still to an extent anyway. He never offers it in that way that Hart does. I actually think Hart's a great addition.
It turns out that it's a good thing for a pundit to be able to actually explain the game, right?
Right.
No, but Hart has done really well. He's been really, really good post career with the
Yeah,
punditry.
I
He was
think so.
always
Yeah, very
he was,
good.
He
I
was
agree.
always a very willing talker when he was a player.
Great neck as well.
Great neck, absolutely, yeah. But also, one can be reminded, an amazing career he had. Obviously, when he went through the
And
loan spells.
Totally right. And also, you should probably throw in there and say that for a profile of the player he is and the career he's had, to be given the under-21s gig, he could be... Some people would say, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm Joe Hart.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's enthusiastic enough to go, yeah, I love a bit of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good old Joe. Well done, Joey.
And good for the lads. Good for Carsley's cattle.
Carsley's Cavaliers. You could have gone with.
Carsley's Cavaliers.
Well,
Oh, the youngest, it would be Carsley's calves.
There we go. That's nice.
Nice.
There you
That
are.
is nice.
Well, he said to
Carsley's.
you could have had Cunnies. You could have softened it.
I don't think that does soften it though.
It does.
I think it makes it worse.
All right, yeah, Cunny. Carsley said, it's a shame that there's only one game left with this outstanding team.
Oh.
Come on.
We want more. We don't care that it's a final. Give us another one.
I'd love it. I'd love it. England are a goal up against Germany. Come on.
Yeah.
Score an own goal. We want extra
We'll do
time.
your best of 3.
How do you feel about winning the under-21s again, Lee? That's a shame. It's over.
Yeah, that's
Wanna
annoying.
play
'cause
more games.
Some people are now going to start saying maybe I should
Yeah.
step up to the seniors, but I really like it here.
He's probably thinking, I'm absolutely raging at how bad Thomas Tuchel's been because I don't want to go anywhere near that again.
No,
Thanks very
absolutely
much.
not, yeah. Well, England, of course, lost to Germany in the final group game, so revenge may be on their mind. They beat France 3-0 in the other semi-final. So it's all poised to be a classic, Andy
It
Bradshaw.
should be a really good final.
'Cause obviously-
Germany have been excellent.
They have. I mean,
I've got a big Nick Voltamata, that's why.
Yeah, and he's a big name on the transfer market at the moment.
If he
scored
was
6 goals in the tournament, yeah.
If he was a professional wrestler, he'd be being called like the 8th wonder of the world, and, hailing from parts unknown.
6 goals in the tournament. He's 6'6".
Yeah.
as well.
I mean, it's quite indicative. Like, bear in mind that Stuttgart signed him on a free from Werder Bremen, where he couldn't get in the team last summer. He's had a really good first season, replacing Girassi, and the fact that Dennis Undav has missed quite a part of the season. And because he's so atypical, I mean, yes, he can win the ball in the air and all that sort of stuff, but he's got so much more to his game. But because there are so few strikers of that kind of stature at the moment, he's kind of like a unicorn.
Yeah, I agree with
loads
you.
Loads of big clubs are interested in him.
I can't wait for him to score 2 goals in 28 games for West Ham in 2 years' time.
Is there a bit
Well, that will be after his move to Bayern this summer. He's apparently already agreed personal terms with him.
Oh, well
The personal terms being...
Fucking congratulations, Nick.
He's not going to play much there, is he?
Well, that's it. Presumably, the personal terms are you pay me 10 times as much to do 1/10 of the work, while Harry Kane does all of it.
Yeah.
Would they loan him out then, or are they not really?
No, he would be there as backup for Kane.
Crazy.
A lot of people. I appreciate he scored a couple of hat tricks in this tournament, but a lot of people were talking about, similar to you actually, about how he does loads of different things. So, are you kind of alluding to the fact that he could be miscast as a out-and-out frontman?
Maybe. I mean, he's very, very intelligent at linking play. He makes great runs. Look, everyone always knew he had the potential, but just felt he was never going to get there. He was never getting the opportunities.
Andy, has he come up against good centre backs of the quality that England have got in this under-21s tournament, and can he cause England problems?
Yeah, I mean, look, France are a decent side, and he caused them all sorts of trouble.
Okay,
really.
I didn't see that game. I only saw the England.
Yeah, it was funny because 3-0 slightly misleading because it was a little bit more balanced than that. But like Germany scored twice in the first 15, 16 minutes, and then it was really tough for France.
Right.
Come on, the boys. Come on, the boys.
It'd be exciting.
It could be. Do you think Arsenal would be interested in the big German?
Well, they need a centre forward.
Well, they do,
Andy.
It does appear that Gyökeres and his camp think they're pivoting towards Manchester United for some reason. That's the report. Says news not reached Lisbon. I don't understand.
Yeah, they don't have the internet there.
Well, yeah. Also, though, Gyökeres and his entourage think that Sporting are asking too much. And he reportedly told the Sporting president on the phone that he won't play another game for the club.
Oh.
It's a shame that it's ending so acrimoniously because they had a deal for him to go this summer, and the trust has sort of gone on both sides. It's a real shame.
Yeah, I mean, he apparently has been Arsenal's primary target, but old lovely Bertha and co were getting a bit frustrated about the deal, which clearly Gyökeres is himself. But as I say, reports
sometimes we think it's a nightmare.
Yeah, well, and if he's thinking, I really want to play in the Premier League, and Sporting are going, well, we're not budging on how much we think you are, then naturally maybe they do pivot to Manchester United.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you, we'll give us 15 million extra. I'll pick up the phone now.
Yeah, it will be taken from the staff's pockets.
Yeah.
So Jim will make them, remortgage all their houses. But the money will be on offer.
Arsenal have actually signed someone though, Marcus, crucially, haven't they?
Well, it looks like a fee has been agreed with Brentford for midfielder and Brentford captain Christian Norgard. Vish, you're a fan of this man.
I am, yeah.
What do you think of this signing? He's 31, so no spring chicken, but still got some life in those chicken legs.
Well, he covers a lot. His engine seems to be amazing from what I've seen. He covers a lot of ground still.
He's a big player for Brentford.
It feels like a more mobile Jorginho, doesn't he? In terms of the way they use, Arsenal specifically use Jorginho.
That's a really crucial point, actually, because a few Arsenal fans out there are moaning about, obviously there was the Agbonlahor thing on TalkSport about their shopping in Asda, not realising that he's not really going there as a starter, is he?
Yeah, exactly. So
I think he's a really smart pick.
They need to bolster the squad a bit, as we've seen in previous seasons. Yeah. And also, as well, when you have a player like Declan Rice, who can play that, as we now say, that number 8 position so very, very well, actually, it gives them another option in that midfield.
You want him to do that as much as possible.
Totally, because in that position, he's one of the best midfielders in the world. Ooh. He's a brilliant holding midfielder as well, just playing in front of the back four, by the way. He's superb at that. But he's just excelled so much. To me, it's kind of like, yeah, well, why not then? You can get a Premier League operator there, because you can pay a fair few quid for young players now, and you're not sure, and everything's a gamble. I understand that. Norgard's been playing very well for Brentford in the Premier League for a little while now, and he was their captain. And often Arsenal what are some of the criticisms? Not enough experience, not enough leadership, not enough bite in that midfield. Well, they're killing three birds with one stone with Norgard. But you're right to say he probably
What a
won't
stone.
start. It's a great
Imagine it.
stone.
Yeah.
It's been flung.
Very small birds. One or the other.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then there's question marks around Thomas Partey, whether he's going to leave or stay. That needs to, we need to see what happens there. But I mean, Partey, again, he's a year older than Norgard, and I understand he's operated at a higher level, but wage-wise and so it might be a bit too expensive for us.
From the Brentford side of the ledger, though, if you're a Brentford fan, you are quite fearful of what's happening now because you've lost your manager, who's been an absolute totemic figure for you.
Yes.
You're probably going to lose Brian Mbeumo. It looks like you've already lost Christian Norgard, captain, as you say. There's people sniffing around players like Keane Lewis-Potter, Nathan Collins, good young players.
Visa as well.
Visa as well.
Flecken's gone.
Yeah, quite. So I think...
It'll test the resolve of that club. We often hear that it's very well run and they know what they're doing. Well, this
how much can Queven Kelleher actually do?
I mean, it's been a great... That's a great...
Gandalf it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
But this is kind of the problem, isn't it? The fact is you can have a plan at the start of the transfer window if you are a below elite club to sell 2 or 3 players. But that makes people in the dressing room get twitchy. Yeah. And then everyone wants to leave all of a sudden.
Yeah, but like I say, I think that with Brentford... much has been made about how they've been run and so on and so forth. This would be the biggest test they've faced, one could argue.
Definitely.
But I think they'll be quietly confident, some of those fans. Yeah, they'll be concerned, absolutely. And Thomas Frank is the main concern. But as I say, they've seen a bit of change and they've seen, over the years. So
but they're a structurally strong club.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Structurally stronger than Manchester United at the moment. One might say.
Man United have made a big announcement this week, haven't they?
Well, they've appointed Will Carvalho as their new head chef for the men's first team.
It's annoying because it's a name that is like, that's a Portuguese defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I know. I thought that. There's I saw the announcement and I saw his name and thought exactly the same as you. Then I saw him leaning over a table, looking down the lens over what appeared to be quite a large Yorkshire pudding, and I thought,
it does. It looks like one of those ones when you go to It's a Scream or similar pub where they put your whole Sunday dinner inside a massive Yorkshire pudding, which, by the way, is an absolute crime against cuisine.
This is some cuisine marketing I can get behind.
Yeah.
Do that on the Bear, I might watch it.
Why is that a crime?
Yeah,
it's just wrong.
It
makes the Yorkshire way too soggy. Way too soggy.
Oh, Andy, I've got to brace me to you. Have you not seen those wraps, which are Yorkshire puddings, which hold the roast
beef in there?
Do you know, I had something similar. I went to Warwick Castle a few months ago. Great place, I recommend it. And they do like a sort of a wrap, and you've got all that sort of business. It's magnificent.
But the wrap itself is a Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah. He doesn't like it because it's English.
It's English. That's why he doesn't like it. Yeah. If it wasn't for you and Eddie Izzard, we'd still be in the European Union, you prats.
Yeah, if he called it like Pastage de Yorkshire,
yeah, exactly.
He'd like it.
He'd be all over it. It's a great shame. Well, Will Carvalho.
It is funny that Man United are announcing chefs.
It's class.
Yeah, it's
from Brighton though. He's a good chef.
Yeah.
They supported him off Junior MasterChef.
Does great fish and chips.
Apparently, he does ranch sauce on the pizzas as well. Carvalho said, "It's a new challenge, a new step in my career."
Don't need a quote from him.
I'm massively grateful for my time at Brighton, though.
As if like a Brighton fan would be like, he didn't even thank us.
Yeah. Joe, when they play,
why is he going to them? We finish above them.
We're dead club. When Brighton come to Old Trafford this season, he's going to refuse to make the food. Out of respect.
Is that the deal?
He's not going to ding the bell for service. Out of respect, he's not going to ding the bell.
Why does this taste like shit? Former club refused to season it.
Yeah. Because they've only got him on loan, you see. All right, coming up after this.
I did 42 steaks on loan in 52 appearances at Brighton.
Coming up after this, Luka Modric heads to Italy. Before we get to the Modfather Modric, Leicester City have sacked Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Whoever saw that coming?
I love that. That happened before we left the studio today.
Happened with the
big one.
It happened with the speed of continental drift.
Yes.
That sacking.
Do you think he realised he was still the manager?
I knew he was because the announcement had been made, but why now? 2 months after they've been relegated.
No, he hasn't lost a game for over a month. I think it's half.
We haven't conceded in ages.
Well, you have, Ruud, actually. We had a behind the closed door pre-season game against the under-14s last week, and that was 0-0.
Well, apparently they were watching the Club World Cup together, and they were watching Benfica play Bayern, and Van Nistelrooy, who's that at the back there? I don't know.
Yeah, like, that's it. That's the final straw.
Yes, exactly, yeah. According to Sky Sports, is because it would have affected their latest PSR accounts, which refresh on the 1st of July.
That doesn't make any sense either.
Well, that's what Sky are reporting.
Yeah.
But why does it make not make
Well,
sense?
because because what it's implying is it would affect their latest PSR accounts, which refresh on July the 1st. Well, if you sack him on 27th of June or if you sack him on the 1st of May, it's still the same year. If you were waiting for that, you'd wait till after the 1st of July, presumably.
Yeah, but Luke, maybe Ruud doesn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think Ruud knows much.
Well, he wasn't leaving. Oh no, Leicester City clearly didn't know that.
Can we all just say it's very unlike Leicester to get their sums wrong?
Right, okay.
Yeah, yes, exactly, yeah.
Because this is an exceptional expense anyway, right?
Yeah, I love the way that in PSR and FFP, firing a coach is described as an exceptional expense. Like
Very much depends who you are.
No one ever does that. No one ever does that.
It's a strange one, isn't it? I mean,
Is the ruling not different in the AFL? Maybe that's it, but I don't know.
yeah, I don't know, but it is an odd one. Perhaps though that they've got someone in place now who's going to take over. I mean, Sean Dyche is one of the front runners, and maybe they just didn't want to be managerless. I don't know.
Danny Roll, also from Sheffield Wednesday, is one of the front runners, and that maybe to link the two, he's currently negotiating his exit from Sheffield Wednesday without a next destination. Certainly, the last report I read was there was no next destination in mind. It was just kind of to put some feelers out for the summer. So maybe this has been in the works before, and this is why they've...
Quite possibly.
Talking of impeccable financial management, do you think Sheffield Wednesday's owner will have to bring down his asking price for the club from 300 million now Danny Roll's leaving?
Possibly, Andy. That is a distinct possibility.
I mean, the thing is, though, every single club you talk about in the FA, you've got to really talk about some kind of financial issue.
Yes,
that's true.
With a few exceptions, you know.
Indeed, yeah. Gentlemen, let's turn our attention to Luka Modric. He's agreed to join AC Milan after the Club World Cup.
This is a lovely move.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
He loves playing football, that man.
Absolute retirement area is that, isn't it?
Well, for a man of his quality, yes.
Yeah,
but you would think
like
Saudi or...
just Italy generally, like, you know, I think of De Bruyne as well, at Napoli, now him there.
What's he going to eat, though? I mean, there's not many options.
No, exactly. Well, to be fair, if he can just take a flight to America and eat on the East Coast.
I mean,
just like an hour down the road to Turin, but where he can borrow some ranch sauce off Weston.
That's true.
Yeah, and get himself some Nutella.
Monday pasta, Tuesday pizza, Wednesday fish, Thursday steak.
Friday would be fish, would it not?
Probably go back to fish on Friday.
Yeah, see, fish it up.
What I love about Modric is that he's still, as far as I know, Andy, you can tell me if I'm wrong here, he's still not retired from international football either.
No.
He can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
He just cannot.
I think he'll continue playing international football once he's retired from club football.
That is a lovely old job. I'd love that.
It makes sense as well because Italy's obviously much closer to Croatia, so much shorter hop.
Take the boat home.
If anything, he is doubling down on his international.
Who loves football?
Bit of
more?
olive oil for the joints as well.
Yeah. Who loves
Lovely.
football more, Luka Modric or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Be Modric, I think, because Ronaldo loves the kind of everything that goes with it.
Yeah, Modric loves it for the right reasons.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Ronaldo loves football only as much as it will allow the room for him to not be loving himself.
Yeah. Well, he signed a new 2-year deal with
Pay for the
Al-Nassr.
legal fees.
Is he getting slightly more than Luka Modric at Milan, do we think?
Probably. Ronaldo is going to be playing beyond his 42nd birthday in the Saudi Pro League. I don't know what the deal is with Modric. I'd imagine that Milan are probably paying him a few quid.
Yeah, I'm sure they're wetting his beak to an extent, Marcus.
Yeah, but to respond to what you're saying, Andy, to compare wages, I don't think they're going to be paying him £178 million a year. I don't think they're going to be paying him £3.4 million a week.
He gets 80 grand a goal.
Yeah, I don't think the signing bonus will be £24.5 million. I don't think that he'll get 40 grand bonus for an assist, which will increase 20% in the second year.
Read a bit about the staff.
I don't think Modric will have 16 people working full-time for him, including 3 drivers, 4 housekeepers, 2 chefs, 3 gardeners and 4 security people.
It's actually 18 people because he's also got 2 strikers in there as well.
Is that what it is?
In case he doesn't want to play.
Yeah. I mean, he may well get a bonus if Modric may get a bonus if Milan win the league. It might not be as high as 8 million. And he may not get 4 million if he wins the Golden Boot like Ronaldo would be. It would seem unlikely. And I'm not sure if AC Milan are going to give Modric £4 million worth of private jet expenses. But that's what Ronaldo's going to get, baby.
I don't want to be a dickhead here.
Mm-hmm. You think that's fair?
No, I don't think £4 million worth of private jet expenses amounts to that much.
I don't think it matters, does it? I don't think he's going to worry about that.
So you think they're mugging him off with this deal?
I do think they're mugging him off.
Imagine if he came
Cristiano, have a
storming
look.
back in the room. This is a piss take.
I've had to use my goal bonus
Imagine
to
that.
fill up in Monaco. What the hell is that
Go
about?
back into the conference room, have a look at the most few sticking points here.
I think
Some questions.
Someone has done some maths for us. Well, not for us, they've done it for themselves, but we'll steal it. Saying that with 35 goals and 4 assists last year, Ronaldo would make it almost an extra £3 million in bonuses if he matches those numbers.
Without actually winning a trophy.
it is extraordinary.
35 goals and 4 assists tells its own story, doesn't it?
I mean,
You know what's really surprising, a number that is very surprising, is the fact that we know he will go beyond his 42nd birthday. Because I think Cristiano Ronaldo's at the point now where he'll stop telling people how old he is.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he doesn't. It's rude to ask.
Well, it is,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, but it might do into the 40s.
It's interesting because a month ago, Ronaldo posted on social media, "The chapter is over." Well, cha-ching, the chapter is going to be rewritten now because that kind of money turns most people's heads.
It's like the Game of Thrones or the woman who wrote about the wizards. Like they weren't going to do the last book, were they? Until the bunts.
Till the money came in.
Yeah.
that right?
But crucially, Ronaldo said the chapter's over,
Yeah.
not the book.
Exactly.
The next
Yeah.
chapter turns out to be about exactly the same subject.
Eddie Murphy, Beverly Hills Cop 3.
There we go. Do it for the money.
Literally, when he was promoting the film, as I've mentioned before, he was saying he did it for the money.
Yeah. Disappointing if you're the producer of that movie, isn't it? Yeah.
But hardly a
Several
surprise.
levels, yeah.
Do you think that was the last thing Eddie Murphy thought he'd have to do creatively for the money?
Not the worst thing he's ever done. Isn't it?
No.
Anyway,
A lot of debt, that man.
now, let's finish the show by talking about the film Saipan, of course, which we spoke about on Wednesday's Ramble. It includes Steve Coogan playing Mick McCarthy. Now, Pete thought it should be a play instead, but listener Mike on X pointed out that it has already been made for the stage as a musical in Ireland. Obviously a musical. But Riverdance, maybe.
Could be.
Why not?
I can't imagine. Is that?
You're thinking, is that...
I'm just thinking about how much I want to lean into that stereotype, and I decided not at all.
I just said maybe.
What? Oh yeah, Roy Keane just river dancing off the coach, is he? Oh, Mick McCarthy's throwing a pint of Guinness at him, is he?
Is it just 10 renditions of the Pogues, is it?
I respect our
Fairy Tale
Irish
in New
listeners,
York, over
Marcus.
and over
Right,
again.
okay.
All I've said today is that Roy Keane's a good cork man.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
all I've said.
I just hear about this and I'm a bit bewitched, that's all. The play was just simply called I, Kino, and
Yeah.
it depicted the incident as a mock epic melodrama set in ancient
Which
Rome.
genuinely sounds good.
Set
Yeah.
in ancient Rome, come on.
Yeah, it
fun.
sounds good.
Yeah.
But I do like Steve Coogan's. So obviously Steve Coogan's acting career has gone, really well. He's
Through the roof.
clearly got some acting chops about him these days. But he also leans into where he came from, which is the impressionist thing.
And
He looks good as Big Mick as well.
Andy, Luke and Pete both said they wouldn't be interested in watching this film. What about you? What's your take?
I would love to watch it.
I thought you would.
I think
I thought you
there's a bit of a macabre fascination with it.
Yeah. Would you say so, Vish?
I'd watch it, yeah.
Yeah, you see, we're back
I like
on
a
board.
nice cinema.
A nice cinema.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
They have food delivered to you. Not Italian food, but other food.
All I would say about is Coogan looking good as Mick McCarthy. He does look good as him, but I think what I've detected here is that Coogan is leaning into this film as much as he can, but he's not prepared to go full Mick McCarthy haircut for some reason. And I don't remember Mick McCarthy ever having that swept back.
well, because he was sort of balding, wasn't he? So it was brushed back.
Right, okay, but it was to that extent. Was it that level of weft, or was it kind of
Left.
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, I think in terms of casting, you're
Yeah.
thinking sort of Sam the Eagle out of the Muppets, really, aren't you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Little bit, yeah.
McCarthy looked like that.
Yeah.
Like Sam the Eagle out of the Muppets.
Sam the Bald
Yeah.
Eagle, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like Coogan's doing it with he's not got braids in his hair or something.
No, but Coogan's gone too. I think he's gone too kind of.
Who did you want to do it? Daniel Day-Lewis?
I don't think it looks. Yeah, that'd be great.
I think it's fine.
Okay, it's just a minor bugbear of mine. That's all.
Okay, well there we are, everybody. Right, the bugbears are over, and that means the football ramble's over for today.